says we are at stage 4, paragraph page 285. 285. Okay, and our last headword was branch, new word type of lesson. Okay, so let's start with revision. Ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. First question. Do you dream very much at night? Do you dream very much at night? Yes or no?
No,
I don't
I
dream
don't
very much
dream
at night.
very much at night.
Very good. What do we call a bad dream? What do we call a bad dream? We call a
Night,
bad dream
night
a
dream,
nightmare.
nightmare.
Very good. What are the three forms of dream? What are the three forms of dream? The three forms of
The three
dream
forms of a
are
dream
dream,
are
dreamt, dreamt.
dream, dreamt.
Very good. What did you dream about last night? What did you dream about last night? I dreamt about
I dreamed about my children
last night.
last night.
Very good dream. Okay, next. Have you
I'm
get
just kidding.
just kidding. Have you get a garden at home? Have you get a garden at home? Yes or no?
No,
I haven't
I
got a
haven't
garden
got
at
a
home.
garden at home.
Very good. Do you ever refuse to help other people? Do you ever refuse to help other people? Yes or no?
Yes,
I sometimes
I
refuse
sometimes
to
refuse
help
to
other
help
people.
other people.
Very good. Do you write your dictations in a separate book from your other books? Do you write your dictations in a separate book from your other books? Yes or no?
Yes,
I write my
I write
dictations
my
in a separate
dictation
book
and
from
separate
my
book
other books.
from my other books.
Very good. Do you live in a separate house from your parents? Do you live in a separate house from your parents? Yes or no?
Yes,
I live in
I
a separate
live in a
house
separate
from my
house
parents.
from my parents.
Very actually separate country. Okay, next.
Of course.
Give me an example of the word lovely. Give me an example of the word lovely, please. I had a lovely
I had
holiday
a
last
lovely
year.
holiday here.
She's a lovely person.
He's a lovely
The
person.
weather's lovely today.
The weather is lovely today.
Very good. Will you keep studying English until you die? Will you keep studying English until you die? Yes or no?
No,
I won't keep
I
studying
won't keep
English
studying
until
English
I die.
until I die.
Yeah, I won't teach until I die also. Okay.
Not
Do you agree it's very bad for the health to keep eating after our stomachs are completely full? Do you agree it's very bad for the health to keep eating after our stomachs are completely full? Yes, I agree.
Yes, I
It's very
agree.
bad for
It,
the health
it's very bad for the
to
health
keep eating
to
after
keep
our
eating
stomachs are
our
completely
stomach
full.
really full.
Very good. Do you keep your money in your pocket or do you use a purse? Do you keep your money in your pocket or do you use a purse? Yes or no?
No,
I don't
I
keep my
don't
money
keep my
in my
money in
pocket.
my pocket.
I use a
I
purse.
use a purse,
Very good. But in Asia, we just say wallet, right? Okay.
wallet.
Then,
Okay.
next,
You
do you
use
keep
that.
books after you read them? Do you keep books after you read them? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
keep books
keep
after I've
books
read them.
after I read them.
Very good. What's the best way to keep warm on a cold day? What's the best way to keep warm on a cold day? The best way
The
to
best
keep
way
warm
to
on a
keep
cold day
warm on a
is to
cold day
wear a
is
thick
to
coat.
wear a thick coat.
Oh, winter's near in Netherlands, right?
Yes,
Okay,
it's
very
about 14 degrees.
very cold
Yeah,
there.
just yeah.
Okay, next. What do we sometimes mean when we use the words one, you, we, and they? What do we sometimes mean when we use the words one, you, we, and they? When we use
When
the
we
words
use
one,
words
you,
one,
we,
you,
and they,
we, they,
we sometimes mean
we sometimes
people in
mean
general.
people in general.
Wait, in the sentence, if you want to go to the cinema, you have to buy a ticket. What does the word you mean? In the sentence, if you want to go to the cinema, you have to buy a ticket. What does the word you mean? In the sentence,
In
if
this
you want
sentence,
to go
if
to the
you want
cinema,
to go to the
you
cinema,
have to buy a ticket.
you have to buy a
The word
ticket.
you
And
doesn't
you
necessarily mean
doesn't
me in
necessarily
particular,
mean in
but
particular,
people in general.
but people in general.
Very good. Which do we generally use the most? One, you, or we? Which do we generally use the most? One, you, or we? We generally use
We generally
you the
use
most.
we the most.
Very good. Must you do If what must you do if you want to speak a language well? What must you do if you want to speak a language well? You must study a lot
You must study
and
a
repeat,
lot.
repeat, and
Repeat,
repeat.
repeat,
If you
repeat.
want to speak
If you
a
want to
language well.
speak a language well,
Very good. What do you have to do if you want to stay healthy? What do you have to do if you want to stay healthy? If you want to
if you
stay
want
healthy,
to be healthy,
what you have
you
to eat healthy food,
have to eat healthy
sleep
food,
well, and do
sleep well,
exercise.
and do exercise.
Very good. What must you do if you want to speak a language well? What must you do if you want to speak a language well? You must study a lot
You must study
and
a lot
repeat, repeat,
and
and
repeat,
repeat.
repeat, and
If you
repeat.
want to speak a
If
language
you
well.
want to speak a language well,
Very good. What do you have to do if you want to stay healthy? What do you have to do if you want to stay healthy? If you want to
if
stay
you want
healthy,
to be
you have
healthy,
to eat healthy food,
eat
sleep
healthy
well,
food,
and do
sleep well,
exercise.
and do exercise.
Very good. What must you do if you want to remember something well? What must you do if you want to remember something well? You must repeat often.
You must
If
repeat
you want
often.
to remember
Want
something
to
well.
remember well.
Very good. What can we where can we buy drink when we're thirsty? Where can we buy drink when we're thirsty? We can buy a drink
We
from
can
a
buy a
bar
drink
when we're
from a
thirsty.
when we are thirsty.
Very good. Which country must we go to if we want to hear people speaking Greek? Which country must we go to if we want to hear people speaking Greek? We must go to
We
Greece.
must go
If
to
we want to
Greece.
hear people
Want to
speaking
hear
Greek.
people speaking Greece.
Very good. What does one do when one is hungry? What does one do when one is hungry? One eats when one
Eat
is
when
hungry.
hungry.
Very good. Do they sell drinks at most cinemas? Do they sell drinks at most cinemas? Yes, they sell
Yes,
drinks
they
at
sell
most
drinks.
cinemas.
Most cinemas.
Very good. Okay, next. What's the difference between the present perfect and the past simple? What's the difference between the present perfect and the past simple? The difference between
The
the
difference
present
between
perfect and the
the
past
difference
simple
perfect and past
is
simple
that we use
is
the
that
present
we use
perfect when we
present
are
perfect
thinking
if
about
we are
time
thinking about
before
time
and up to now,
before and to now,
whereas we use the
whereas
past
we
simple
use the
when
past
we are
simple
thinking
we
about
are
a
thinking
specific
about a
pastime.
specific past time.
Very good. Give me an example of each. Give me an example of each, please. I have been here for 20
In
minutes.
here for 20 minutes.
I arrived here
I
20
arrived
minutes
here
ago.
20 minutes ago.
Very good. Has summer ended? Has summer ended? Yes or no?
Yes,
Summer has ended.
one has ended.
When did it end? When did it end? It ended
Ended
man,
last week.
last week only. Very good. How long have you studied at this school? How long have you studied at this school? I've studied at
I've
this school
studied
for
at this school for 2 years.
very good. When did you start your lesson at this school? When did you start your lesson at this school? I started my
I
lesson
started
at this
my
school.
lesson at this school 2 years ago.
Very good. Have you been to the cinema this year? Have you been to the cinema this year? Yes or no?
Yes,
I've been to the
I've
cinema
been to
this
the
year.
cinema this year.
Very good. When was the last time you went to the cinema? When was the last time you went to the cinema? The last time I
Last
went
time
to the
I
cinema
went to the
was
cinema this August.
watch Top Gun. Very good.
Why you know?
Wait, I watch it also. Have you written any dictation this week? Have you written any dictation this week? Yes or no?
No,
I haven't written
I
any
haven't
dictations
written
this week.
any dictations this week.
Reggie, did you write a dictation yesterday? Did you write a dictation yesterday? Yes or no?
No,
I didn't write
I
a
didn't
dictation
write
yesterday.
a dictation yesterday.
Very good. Are horses wild animals? Are horses wild animals? Yes, some
Yes,
horses are
some
wild
horses,
animals.
wild animals.
Very good. What do we call the arms of a tree? What do we call the arms of a tree? We call the
We
arms
call
of a tree
arms of a tree
branches.
in branches.
Very good. Does your bank have a branch near there? Does your bank have a branch near there? Yes or no?
Yes.
My bank has a
My
branch
bank
near
has a
here.
branch yes here.
Very good. Okay, so that's the end of our revision. Let's have new work.
Okay.
Okay, so repeat. Bridge.
Bridge.
Very good. Okay, listen. Okay, a bridge is something built over a river, a road, a street, etc. For example, the Tower Bridge in London, Kentai Bridge in Japan, Golden Gate in the US. Okay, let's practice. Are there any bridges over the river in Paris? Are there any bridges over the river in Paris? Yes, there are
Yes.
some
There
bridges
are
over the
bridges
river in
over
Paris.
the river in Paris.
Very good. Okay. Next, repeat. Egg.
Egg.
Very good. Okay, listen. Egg is a noun. Eggs are from chicken. For example, I eat eggs for my breakfast. I eat about 7 eggs a week, one per day. Very good. Okay. Let's practice. About how many eggs do you eat a week? About how many eggs do you eat a week? I eat about
I eat about seven
a
eggs
week.
a week.
One per day. We love
Like
egg. Very good. Next, repeat push,
push,
pull.
pull.
Very good. Okay, listen. Push and pull are verbs. For example, I'm pushing the book. I'm pulling the book. Okay, so let's practice. What am I doing? What am I doing? You're pushing the book.
You're pushing the book.
What am I doing? What am I doing? You're pulling the book.
You're pulling the book.
Very good. Do you push this door to go out of the classroom? Do you push this door to go out of the classroom? Yes or no?
Yes.
I push that door
I push
to go out
door
of the classroom.
out of the classroom.
Very good. Is this table too heavy for you to pull into the next room? Is this table too heavy for you to pull into the next room? Yes or no?
Yes.
That table's too heavy
Table
for me
is happy
to
for me
pull
to
into the
pull
next room.
into the next room.
Very good. Next, repeat. Interest.
Interest.
Bore.
Or
Very good. Okay, listen. Interest means to want to give something a thought. For example, I like English. It interests me the most. The opposite of the verb to interest is to bore. For example, I don't like history. Oh no, I don't like mathematics. It bores me. Mathematics doesn't interest me. It's very difficult. Okay, let's practice. What subject interests you the most? What subject interests you the most?
English the
Interests me
more
the most.
interest me the most.
Very good. What subject bores you the most? What subject bores you the most?
Mathematics
Bores me the most.
most
Bores me the
mathematics
most.
bores me the most.
Very good. I agree. And again, next repeat.
Like
Interesting.
interesting,
Interested.
interested,
Boring.
boring,
Bored.
bored.
Very good. Okay, listen. Interesting, interested, boring, and bored are all adjectives. If something is interesting, you give it a thought. You think about it. The opposite of interesting is boring. If you are interested in something, you find out more about it or you like it. Bored is the opposite of interested, which also means to be tired of something. For example, we can say, I'm interested in the history of my country, or I get bored if I have nothing to do. Okay, let's practice. Do you think football's an interesting sport? Do you think football's an interesting sport? Yes or no?
No,
I don't think
I
football's
don't think
an
football is
interesting sport.
an interesting
I
sport.
think it's a boring
I
sport.
think it's boring sport.
I do. I also think so. Next. Are you interested in the history of your country? Are you interested in the history of your country? Yes or no? I'm
Yes,
interested in the
I'm
history
interested
of my
in the
country.
history of my country.
Do you get bored if you have nothing to do? Do you get bored if you have nothing to do? Yes or no?
Yes,
I get bored
I
if
get
I
bored
have nothing to
if
do.
I have nothing to do.
Very good. Let's repeat. Between,
Between,
among,
among,
science.
science.
Very good. Okay, listen. The difference between and among is that we generally use the word between for two people or things. Whereas we use among if we are talking about more than two people or things. For example, between the two subjects of history and geography, I prefer geography. Using among all the subjects I study at school, I like science the most. Very good. Okay, let's practice. What's the difference between and among? What's the difference between and among? The difference
The difference
between and among
and
is that
among
we
is
generally
that
use between
generally used
for two
between
people or
or two
things,
people or things.
whereas we use
Whereas
among
we use
for more
among
than two people
more
or
than two
things.
people or things.
Very good. Give me an example of each. Give me an example of each, please. I'm sitting
I
between
is sitting
the
between
teacher and the
the
window.
teacher and the window,
I'm sitting among
sitting
the other
among
students.
the other students.
Where is there anybody sitting between you and me? Is there anybody sitting between you and me? Yes or no?
No,
There isn't anybody
there isn't
sitting
anybody
between you and
sitting
me.
between you and me.
Right? Among all the subjects you studied at school, which did you think was the most boring? Among all the subjects you studied at school, which did you think was the most boring? Among all the subjects, among all the
As
subjects
all the
I
subjects,
studied at
among all
school,
the subjects I study at school,
I thought
I thought
was the
mathematics
most boring.
was the most boring.
Very good. Among all the places you've ever been to, which do you think is the ugliest? Oh. Among all the places you've ever been to, which do you think is the ugliest? Among all the places
Among all the
I've ever been
places
to,
I've ever been
I
to,
think
I think that's too hard
hardest
to
question.
answer.
ABC country
The
is the
country
ugliest.
is the ugliest.
Okay, that's the safest answer. Okay, next. Among all the things in that room, are any yours? Among all the things in that room, are any yours? Yes. Among all the things
Yes, among all
in
the
this
things
room,
in
some
this
are mine.
room are mine
Very good. Okay, next. Let's talk about to be going to.
to be going to.
Very good. Okay, repeat. Intention.
Intention
Soon.
soon
Happen.
happen.
Very good. Okay, listen. One of use of to be going to is to say that what we think will happen because of something we know now. For example, the sky is very dark now. So we know the sky is very dark. So we can say, I think it's going to rain. John is a very good student. He's going to do well in his exam because we know that John is a very good student. Okay, let's practice. Tell me one use of to be going to. Tell me one use of to be going to, please. One use of to be
One use
going to
of to be
is
going
to
to
say what we
to
think
see
will
what
happen
we will happen.
because of something
Because of
we know
something
now.
we know now,
Very good. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? You're going to
you are
open the book.
going to open the book.
Very good. Do you think it's going to rain soon? Do you think it's going to rain soon? Yes or no?
No,
I don't think
I
it's going
think
to
it's
rain soon.
going to rain soon.
Very good. Okay, next listen. Another use of to be going to is to speak about our future intentions, future plans. Okay, intention means plans. There we go. Soon means in the near future. For example, I'm going to keep studying English for a few more years. I'll be able to speak English well soon. Okay, let's practice. Tell me another use of to be going to. Tell me another use of to be going to, please. Another use of
Another
to be
use
going
of
to
be
is
going
to
to
speak about
is
our
to speak
future
about our
intentions.
future intention.
Wait, what are you going to do after the lesson? What are you going to do after the lesson? I'm going to
We go to supermarket
after the lesson.
for lesson.
Very good. Are you going to watch television this evening? Are you going to watch television this evening? Yes or no?
No,
I'm not going
I'm
to
not
watch
going to
television this
watch
evening.
television this evening.
Very good. What are you going to have for your dinner this evening? Oh, that's too early. What are you going to have for your dinner? Let's change. What are you going to have for your lunch this afternoon? What are you going to have for your lunch this noon? I'm going to have.
I'm going to have my, I'm going to have my lunch.
What will you eat? I'm going to have meat, pork, steak
Have a sandwich
for my lunch
for my
this noon.
lunch this noon.
Very good. Are you going to come here again tomorrow? Are you going to come here again tomorrow? Yes or no?
Yes,
I'm going to
I'm
come here
going to
again
eat
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Okay, I'll wait for you then. Okay, but let's move on to your
Yeah, I
reading. Yeah.
will eat.
Very good. So let's move on to your reading. Okay, our reading is at stage 4, paragraph page 213. Last headword was irregular verbs. Okay, so let's start reading at page 214. The ninth question. Did you take any photographs on your last holiday?
Do you take any photographs on your last holiday? Yes, I took some photographs on my last holiday. Did you tell me your name? Yes, I told you my name. Did anybody in your family drive a car last year? Yes, somebody in my family drove a car last year. Did you remember all the new words last lesson from the lesson before that? No, I didn't remember all the new words last lesson from the last lesson before that. Some I remembered and some I forgot.